How did you realize you were being cheated on? Wife spent the night with her friend. Ran into the friend who said she hasn't seen my wife in 2 years. Being constantly accused of cheating. Home 15 minutes later than I said? Cheating. Have a drink after work with colleagues? Cheating. A friend texts me, which I let her read. Cheating. Guess what I figured out she was doing while I was at work? Cheating. When I got stopped by a friend telling me that he was sorry about the breakup. Her 5-year-old told me, I didn't even ask him. She was going out for a girls' night, had lingerie I bought her in her purse. Already caught her in odd behavior, and assumed. That was the proof though. Sort of play fighting on the bed one night, just messing around, and I joking grabbed her phone. She got really defensive and serious. For context, in 2 years of living together I'd never once looked at her phone. I didn't even know her passcode. Completely threw me off, and the next morning I woke up, she was making breakfast and I saw Facebook was open on the PC. That feeling told me to look, and it took less than 30 seconds to see everything I didn't want to see. She came upstairs, I was getting ready for work. Once dressed I told her she has to be out of the house before I get home, and I left. Never saw her again, thankfully. I found out when I answered the door to a police officer serving a restraining order initiated by the other dude's wife. Found a love letter in her desk signed by the other guy. Then I found the photos. Absolutely no remorse whatsoever, even to this day. She even had the audacity to ask me, why don't you just fucking get over it already? 3 days after the fact. Together 5 years. Woke up early to meditate, went to my wife's phone to turn on her noise app for her so she could keep sleeping. Her phone opened directly to a text from the guy she was cheating with. 4 a.m. in the morning. 6 months later and I'm happier than ever. Merry Christmas. The dude she cheated with felt guilty when he realized she was with me. I had helped him with study despite him being older than me academically. We were good friends. So he came to me and gave me the full receipt while being genuinely sorry. She finally admitted it. Years after the breakup. I suspected as much. A dude in our group was always hovering. Always making passes. I should have shut it down, but she begged me not to confront him, that he was harmless. When we hit a bad patch, he was always there. All of a sudden she was running errands with him, like to get his car from the garage. She would stay at the bar later with him than me. She would get pissed if I stopped at our regular spot unexpectedly to have a drink with her while he was there. I was trying to repair things and giving her space. But in reality I was blinded. She finally dropped the hammer on me and I asked about him. She vehemently denied being with him and told me that if she was, she would admit it. I wouldn't do that to you, she said. I'd tell you. During the next year she'd miss me, so she'd say, and ask me out for a drink, and I always went because, I wanted to try to rekindle things. He was always there. Always just a friend. Just ran into her recently after not talking for over a year. She tried that old I miss you bullshit. I called her out on seeing the guy who was always with her, and she finally admitted she was with him the whole time, even before the breakup. Gaslit the fuck out of me, though I guess I was gullible. My buddy sent me a screenshot of my, then, girlfriend on a dating app. Seeing those photos felt like someone punched me in the stomach. We weren't together too long, only 7 months. Still though, I really liked her. I confronted her about it, swore nothing happened. She texted me after the breakup saying, I'm not going to defend this like I did something wrong. Happened about a week ago. Merry Christmas to me. She used to text me every day during breaks and lunch to ask how my day was going. One day it stopped and her behavior changed. I got a bill in the mail from my hospital. I was like, WTF, opened it up and it was a bill for ultrasound pregnancy. I had left to visit my brother in university for the weekend. I'm about 30 minutes from our app when she starts blowing up on me through text. Everything was fine when I left and this was a planned trip. I text my brother and tell him what's going on, so I turn around and go home. I'm upset that I won't see my brother, but you gotta do what you gotta do. As soon as I walk back in the door, she pushes our baby into my hands and walks out the door saying she was going to her sister's. She lived in the same complex a short walk away. I get my daughter and I settled in and try to call her to see if she fed our daughter yet. I hear her Apple Watch ring on the charger in the dining room. I think nothing of it, but she doesn't answer. I text her a couple times, each time hearing the watch go off. I just say whatever and start making a bottle, but while I'm doing this I continue hearing the watch go off. Frequently enough to know she's having a conversation with someone. Up to this point I've trusted her and hadn't had a reason to go through her phone or anything. But I was angry that she could talk to someone else and not answer one simple question about our daughter. I did not expect to find her messaging a male friend of hers back from high school. She was talking a lot of trash about me to him and he was feeding into it. That hurt considering how much I had been sacrificing. The messages were too comfortable with each other. I knew something was going on. I continue going through those messages and find explicit ones. I put the watch on the charger and just sent her a simple text. Come home and pack your stuff, you're gone. Now she calls. I ignore her. She got home quickly crying, asking what happened. I tell her she knows what she did. I already had a backpack with clothes and no plan. I just knew I didn't want to be there right now. I'm trying to walk out the door and she is pushing me, trying to stop me. I'm trying to move past her and the pushing becomes punching. She began punching me in the chest as hard as she could, not very hard. I make it past her and get in my car. I call my best friend and tell him everything. He then tells me come to the bar they're at. He and his GF were at the bar celebrating their anniversary. I felt so bad, but I'd known his GF for years and we were all best friends, so they made me feel so welcome and consoled me. I couldn't appreciate their friendship more. The irony of my relationship ending on their anniversary was a joke for a long time, lol. I was too naive, after 9 years of marriage, to realize, I guess until afterwards. Looking back I should have caught. 1. She suddenly put a passcode on her cell phone. 2. Even though I was at work on Saturdays, she would drive 45 minutes to a library to do her grading and planning for the next week because it was quiet there. Teacher. 3. Started talking and visiting with her girlfriends/co-workers more after work while I was at work. Both of us had been married before and were in our 40s, as I said. I guess I was too stupid because I never thought she would have cheated before that. I was walking in as he was walking out. Even still, she spent the next hour lying to me before she finally came clean. This was years ago, but I still haven't been the same since. First time, her best friend told me. Her best friend had just split with her boyfriend of nearly a decade because she suspected him of cheating. I then found out she didn't go to the music festival with my then GF. It was supposed to be the three of them, but when her friend found out the ex was still going, she backed out. They were supposed to be gone 3 days, they were gone 5. So she checked the security cameras she had set up at her place after she and the boyfriend split. Saw my GF and her ex going into the house together while my GF was supposed to be house sitting and checking on the cat. Most recent, the 4-year-old told me about mommy's friend. I was the stepdad in this equation, but the little one had been calling me Daddy Jakey for 2 years, and I'd known her for her entire life. Never did tell the mom I knew. It broke my heart to leave the little one.